guys. Welcome. Matt, Multi Warriors 20. Never seen you before. Just started. Thank you for joining. Give me 1 second.
How do I start a savings habit?
The fucking money, it's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
This ain't financial advice, just a little DD to help you think twice. We hold for each other, eyes on the prize. The new floor's 200,000 times 5. I joke, I kid, no, I don't know a damn thing. I'm as simple as Bubba trying to sell some damn shrimp. Can't spell IQ, can't even count to 10. And I eat crayons every day with my friends. I think about Kenny in his ivory tower, shaking in his lily boots as the apes overpower. Must suck to lose to monkeys, so dumb. But you made your bed and you got nowhere to run. I'd love to be a fly on the wall when he makes the prize fall. And he watching as we keep on more. You forgot we on the floor, blind, 2 hours old. Lie, stop breaking the law, asshole.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
Yeah, crayon eating Lambo lover, smooth brain, stupid ass. Throwing all my money at the streets like a quarterback. FUD don't mean a thing, water up a duck's back. Apes not leaving nothing till we get the money stacks. Monkey see, monkey do, monkey holding to it blue. Monkey magic coming through, 3 us monkeys on the moon. Double digit IQ, Tendy loving bamboo. Right here we got more smoothies than a jumbo juice. Probably thought you coulda made us sell all the gooder. In hell we maybe woulda, but we more than the Buddha. The floor, 6 figures, ain't selling for less. You took on the ape nation and you're fucking with the best. We hold for each other, my sisters and my brothers, the fighters and the lovers. We don't need another fan because we huddle through hard times and struggle. Cause we just a couple of diamonds in the rough.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
Hey, this is not financial advice. Remember, oh wait, when you made the housing market crash, the planet of the apes, and we just want our parents' money back. We can see it in your face that you ain't think we would remember that. Ring, 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 Kenny, boy, you better answer that. Someone call Kenny, ask the headie where my money at. Failure to deliver's coming due, but you can't get them back. When margin gets a call and shit, Adele, you better answer that. Green, boom, boom, candles to the moon, and we ain't coming back. Huddle AMC till each share is worth 100 racks. Huddle GME till each share is worth double that. I'm a diamond-handed ape, someone show me where the shuttle at. Green, boom, boom, candles to the moon, and we ain't coming back. I'm a smooth brain day, but not as smooth as where I purchased at. My average so low, it's like I don't know what I'm swinging at. Hey, old man, how many times do we gotta teach you that we make dumb amounts of money, so we don't mind it when you call us that? It's ironic.
All right. Sorry about that. Try to set things up. It's a little less time. I know you enjoy the music, I hope. But anyway, just a little hype song, you know. Might not be anything to be hyped up yet. Because there's a lot of going on, a lot of stuff going on. Of course, tomorrow it's gonna be the next thing, right? Trump's gonna try to, again, today's because of the tariffs and all that stuff, news, and you know, China's fighting, you know, retaliation or whatever. So just calm down. It's okay. You know, let the market sort things out. You know, as far as tariffs go, whatever it is, it's gonna work out. Okay, short-term pain for long-term gain. So remember that. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. I mean, that's all we could do for now. But again, if you have GME, you have nothing to worry about. We have billions of dollars right now. So even if we're affected by tariffs for a little bit, it's not by much. And we'll continue to cut down stores, right? And of course, you know, having a lot of things on the company side, I'm not worried about that one bit. Not to say that, you know, nothing to be worried about in terms of growth or anything like that in the next quarter, right? Next quarter is going to be affected by it. Of course, I want it to be positive, you know, for quarter one. I don't doubt that it would be positive, but again, you know, anything's possible with tariffs. But I think we're more domestic now, right? And perhaps this is the reason why Ryan Cohen foresee this happening, and bring everything into the, you know, like closing everything overseas already and preparing for this already. But yeah, lots of stuff to talk about today. We're gonna talk about Jimmy. We're gonna talk about MSTR. We're gonna talk about Bitcoin, also XRP and all that stuff too. So it's going to be a plethora of things. I know, you know, typically I only talk about GameStop here, but there's so many things to go to talk about. So, all right, so let's start with the price action for today. Not much there. Very encouraging, right? Because we've been holding this level pretty well, around 20s, in the 20s. So we're still in that range. Good. I mean, in my opinion, you know, not quite sure why it's not letting me. Crazy. Anyway. All right, so we have these range being broken up. I mean, broken to the upside. I was hoping that it was gonna bounce over here, but it seems like it's falling off of that range. But again, that's like after hours, right? You could kind of see a bounce over here during the trading hour. 2 bounce, but then, you know, prime, right? After markets. What can you do? Very low trading volume at the moment. What is the volume for today? I haven't even looked. Let's see, volume. So if we were to look at today volume, very low still. I mean, look. Okay, 12. I mean, relatively higher than we've used to. You know, typically it's like 2 to 3 million shares before this, right? Before the earnings and all that stuff. So if you don't believe me, you go back in time, right? So now, you know, volume kind of picked up a little bit ever since. Again, good news after good news, right? We have 2 insider buys already being on the purview. Okay, hopefully people you know, realize that, but perhaps again because of this tariffs, scared, people, you know, markets get spooked, and typically this is what happened. I mean, I kind of envision this to happen as well when SPY freaked out for no apparent reason, right? GME tend to kind of do a little dance as well. So to be expected, nothing alarming at all. But even again, if the market crashed tomorrow still because of the, retaliation tariffs, and if it's not resolved by tomorrow, you're going to see some more pain, a little bit more pain, but I don't imagine too much, and then the Fed's going to have to step in, right? Hopefully they're going to do the emergency rate cut. That's what Trump wants. And if the Fed doesn't do that, then yeah, we're going to spiral a little bit more. So just be ready for pain no matter what. But again, as far as your GME shareholder, I don't imagine it's going to go any lower. The lowest I'm envisioning is like around $17 here. Yeah, so around $17, $18. That's good. Good level to look into if you want to do whatever you want to do with it. Right now, though, it's very dangerous to short this. I don't know how people are still blind to that. But hey, dumb stormtrooper effect here. You never know. People are crazy sometimes. But, they're convicted in their play. They're convicted that this company is just, terrible company for whatever reason. Even though you have, insider buying and people are, and again, now they have money to buy Bitcoin at this price level, which we're kind of like envisioning that this is going to happen, a little bit rollover type of thing, type of deal. I thought it was going to bounce off of this and take off. But again, even if they're playing in this level over here, it is still a bullish. Okay. Now, we did talk about how it could come down to 64 or even 62,000, right? A couple days ago. And if Ryan Cohen bought up here already at 1.5, it's okay. No harm, no foul, right? Back in April 1st, right? So assuming he bought up here already, he could still add more right here. So again, Ryan Cohen, he does watch my show, so that's why I suggest it this way. So you have one more week to go, and perhaps it's gonna drop. So let's see. I mean, that would be a great price point average, right? To kind of like, remember I wanted him to do 3 buys, right? If possible, right? One over here. Why 3 buys? Well, because it doesn't have to come down here. It may not come down here. You see what I mean? So now that we establish one position already, and then we want to add more. So 1.5, another 1.5 billion. Over here, why add more? Because great point average. You could always sell it, into the market if you want it. But to get a great point average price while it's down, this is the best opportunity to buy. I'm telling you, man, people are so emotional sometimes. I don't get it, but this is the best opportunity. Not to say it won't come down, but you might not even get the opportunity to buy Bitcoin at this price, honestly. I mean, it could follow this trend line as well. So it may not even hit this lower trend line. So, but with fear, right? Anything could happen. So the lowest one would be here. 62. By the time, April 15. April 15, again, tax returns or tax, implications. So people technically perhaps is trying to sell the most risky assets so that they could pay their taxes and all that stuff too, right? So understand that even though Bitcoin doesn't have anything to do with tariffs, because you don't get tariffs on Bitcoin, right? Like, who's issuing? No country, right? So to be freaked out because of the market due to tariffs, it makes no sense at all. But again, panicking. People panic and people think that they're going to be able to buy it at a lower price, right? Traders as well. So be on the lookout for that. But I'm telling you, this is like best time ever. I just add, a couple hundreds here. I don't have much, you guys. I don't have much, but I just have some dry powder. I was like, let me just add some Bitcoin. So I've been accumulating a little bit more now. Not to the extent that I add to XRP or anything like that. Very less amount, but I want to kind of fade back in again into Bitcoin. Especially, when everybody, including GameStop, wants it too. So it's a little bit kind of long-term outlook here. This is more like a 20 years hold. I'm gonna I'm gonna try to hold it like straight up Bitcoin for at least 20 years from now. Again, just in case it's gonna be like $10 million a coin, right? You never know. I would never in a million years that I would predict Bitcoin's gonna go to $100,000, but it did. So yeah, the same way people are gonna still predicting like, oh, it would never go to $1 million. Well, watch. You sit and watch, and whatever, right? Again, markets, right? But yeah, so the fact that Bitcoin comes down with this news, it's not surprising, but it's very it's present a great opportunity to buy at a low. All right. Kada. Anthony, I know the tariffs are affecting a lot, but when stock doesn't go up on good news, definitely signs of short abuse. Yes, yeah. I mean, they definitely take the opportunity of any bad news in the market and trying to do their best, to, put in the supply, borrowing more and all that stuff. So, but there's always shares to borrow, you guys. So, I don't mind that. Honestly, if they want to keep the price artificially low, okay. I mean, what am I to complain about? Like, if I could get GameStop at this price and still, for the next, year? Okay, all right. I mean, insiders keep buying at this price, like, 21. Brian Cohen bought at 23, right, at one point? Somewhere over here? No, actually 20. I think I remember this time period here. When he bought in, it was around $20. So now he's even averaging up to $21 a share, right? So based on the filing. Same way with Larry Chain. I know Larry Chain bought a whole bunch at $11. And now he adds some more at $21 a share too. So that's good. I mean, it's a good sign that these insiders are buying. Remember, there's many different kinds of reason why insider sell, but only one reason why they buy into a stock. So, and then with his post too, right? You could see that there's a sense of like trolling. Okay. Larry Chain is a little bit more like business oriented, where, okay, let's focus on the general, quotes about how companies doing well because of this and this and this, right? More philosophy of like what makes good company, okay? And kind of give us a heads up of what's going on with GME too, because again, throughout the year, he's been posting a lot of tweets to tell us the progress and in a sense giving us a guidance, not forward guidance so much, but the guidance of what they're doing currently and or try to achieve, which is again strong balance sheets. And with strong balance sheet, what do you think you're gonna have? You're gonna have more leverage eventually. And so, people who are on leverage right now when they're not supposed to, what the company should have done for the last 3 years was deleveraging themselves, because again, that crisis is what is looming right now, because every single governments are printing money. China just print more money now. So again, the global liquidity is coming. That's why you hear a lot of like global money supply, right? You've heard of that term throwing around, which is M2, global money supply. I think I have it up here. But essentially, this is what, am I spelling? Gosh, you guys, terrible. This is the Fed. This is the US, okay? But they have a global money supply. So this is only US. But look at this. Just US alone. And this is a weekly. I don't think I could do a candle. It doesn't say that. You can't even. But the point is that, look, they're not tightening. Okay? They're slowing the rate down on well, that's what they claim, right? But look, it's curling back up again. So what people have been doing is kind of offset this. This already happened, and so the supply of money just took some time to get into the hands of the economy. So like, okay, stocks or whatever, right? And so that's why you haven't seen anything yet. But what you're seeing right now is this contraction right there, right? And then on top of that, you hear about bad news, tariffs, Trump, right? And so, and this is why you hear J.P. Morgan come out all of a sudden. Oh, recession is coming. No, he didn't tell you that ahead of time, like so that you could prepare, right? Now they're telling you that it is a recession when it is the best time to buy. I'm telling you, they're faking you out right now. Okay? So this is what they do best, especially JP Morgan. What did JP Morgan said about Bitcoin? What did Larry Chain said about Bitcoin? Not Larry Chain, sorry. Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. First, it was a scam. Now it's a safety asset, right? They wait until they accumulate first, then they tell you to buy. So the same thing. Right now, they're telling you that it is going to be a recession, depression, or whatever, right? Crash. But again, behind closed door, this is happening where global liquidity is coming to pump the market up. That's why they're not in the rush to cut rates, because the Fed knows this. They've been slushing out money, whether they're to bail hedge fund, to bail whatever, right? Repo market, all of that tools to suck the money out, or I guess increasing the supplies of money in order to, mitigate this type of things. But again, I don't know how far they're going to have to print more. But even, again, like I said, other countries are doing the same thing. And so that's why Bitcoin is going to go higher. We don't know whether it's just Bitcoin, of course, crypto as well. So, yeah, I mean, just don't freak out. It's okay. You have GameStop. I mean, hopefully you don't have any call options, right? And so the only people that are struggling right now is because they have call option. It's okay. Or MSDR. I have some MSDR. Actually, I was kind of investing in MSDU. I had some covered call in that one, but I should have kept it. I closed it out too early. So, but anyway, I mean, no harm, no foul, right? Of course, those are the only small portion that I have on my portfolio. It's not like hurtful to the point where you can't come back up. And so this is the time to not have any leverage. If you have leverage, make sure you maintain it pretty well, because the down draw is going to give you a heart attack, because you might lose the whole position, and you don't want that. So take care. Don't do it. Let's see. I'm always ready to get my feelings hurt. I know. I mean, you should know that by now, Carter. I think, as a GameStop shareholder, we kind of felt abused so much, and to the point where Stockholm syndrome type things. Like, oh, okay, maybe this time it's gonna be the right one. Maybe this time it's gonna be green, right? I think the best way to look into this sentiment, and you know what, I feel investing in GameStop is like trying to watering the plant. Sometimes you don't see the result right away, but you keep watering, you keep taking care of it until you see little sprouts. So I could see little sprouts coming, a little bit already, and ready to kind of grow into something else. When everybody was telling you like, it's still on the, like, it's dead already, look, it's not even come up yet. It's like, just a little tiny bit, right? So when nobody sees the potential, we all see this potential. That's why, again, feelings hurt, it's okay. By the stock. Trump doesn't go away. Anthony, I know you don't like Trump. I understand. There's somebody who I know doesn't like Trump either. I get it. Can't see that chart. Oh, what? Oh, shoot. Am I babbling on and then just like, what? Goodness. I mean, you've seen okay, I feel like you memorized the chart already, so I don't even need to show you. We're in a downtrend channel for sure. But you could see a little perked up over here. Who knows? We might break that channel soon. How soon? I don't know. Might be after the tariffs announcement tomorrow. Hopefully it's resolved, right? If it resolved, it's gonna bounce, just like the market. But right now, there's too much fear. Don't know what's happening. But again, hope for the best thing. But the worst is this level right here, and even downtrend over there too. So that's what I'm looking at right there. I mean, again, anything possible, right? I mean, again, dumb stormtrooper effect type thing. So let's look at the chain real quick here. Hello, Amber. What's up? Little sprout and some cool butts. Yes. My local GameStop cashier recognized me now. The PSA greeting. Oh, cool. Nice. Okay. Okay, everybody's here. That's it. So let's look at the option chain. I know. Okay, so max pain is 23. It just means that it's going to kind of close around there, right? It's kind of magic, actually, So unless there's some tweets that we're about to see in a minute, it might just close below max pain there. So let me see, April 2, the same. Max pain 23. April 25th, you see max pain 23 still. But do we see any? So it seems like within these 2 weeks, it's kind of a lot of bets over there out of the money call option right there. Over 100,000 contract. Let's see, May. I'm sure closer to the earnings report right here. It's 200 out of the money. Which option chain do you think Warren Kitty is gonna kind of buy more? Speculation. I have a feeling he's lurking for sure. Lurking. lurking. All right, so as far as Bitcoin, I don't, doubt that it's gonna bounce at some point here. I don't think it's gonna come down to like 50,000. At most, it's 60,000. Or at worst, sorry, would be 62,000. That's what the one I was looking at, but I'm accumulating as I speak. So just in case it doesn't hit, that bottom. Now MSTR, people are like, oh, it's gonna get liquidated. Well, depends, right? If they cannot raise the money to fund the operation, they could just sell some, but I don't think they're gonna have to sell the whole thing. The only problem is that their cost average is way above here. So technically, if they sell, $1 billion, but again, it would look bad on them, right? Because they just bought some $2 billion at 84,000 or something like that. So if they sell at around 60, but keep in mind their average is 67. Okay. So if they sell at 70 real quick just to cover the current expenses or debt or whatever, debt payment, interest, whatever, right? On their operation, then yes, it's gonna, the shareholder's gonna feel that little pain there. But again, it presents the opportunity for people who haven't established a position yet, right? So this is something that we want to look into too, because GME is gonna be, kind of trading similar way, when kind of following the Bitcoin cycle and all that stuff. So it's an uncharted territory for sure. Volatility is coming. Although you haven't seen much movement, even though you have insider buying and all that stuff. So it might not move with Bitcoin. But again, if Bitcoin goes down, right, and we buy Bitcoin, people know for sure that we have bought Bitcoin at whatever price. They're gonna try to make sure that I guess hedging, right, with their portfolio. So, but again, I mean, how can you hedge this? It's tough. It's tough. To me, again, the safest thing is GameStop for sure, because they have money to buy at the dip now. Now, remember when they are laughing at us for having all this cash, right? Now people are scrambling for cash. Even Treasury, I'm telling you, even Treasury are being sold. TLT today went down in value, so that means rate wants to go up based on the market today. It's crazy. And so, I mean, there's a lot of turmoil for sure. Again, that's why, people are freaking out and they pull their money out of the market, including the US Treasury bond over here. So although typically these type of events should have ensued people flighting to safety, you see, people dumping Treasury. That could also be, world governments out there. They, the trade that happened when George Garman segment that I showed yesterday. Some of that probably in play right now because, again, arbitrary, right? They do the retail arbitrage, whatever, or interest rate arbitrage. So when they're spooked in the market, they don't have enough collateral to buy back the treasury. So some people have to sell the treasury to kind of cover some of that, some of that interest payment or whatever. And so again, it's just cascading events. Hopefully, again, somebody's gonna backstop this. And if not, again, we don't have plunge protection team right now, you guys. So I don't think we're gonna get saved at this point in time. So I'm not saying try to scare anyone, but the only thing that I have optimistic about is the fact that the M2 money supply went up, curling back up. So again, even there's a short-term pain, I just know that the horizon is a lot better for Bitcoin, actually. Because again, typically Bitcoin is like hedge against this type of event, right? Over time, obviously. So if you have cash, if you have a job, stable job, all you have to do is just buy. Same way with GME. Because now when we buy into Bitcoin, right, it's going to trade the same way. Risk asset. And typically too, it's amazing that we're still holding this price level. Think about how we've been thought as a risky play for a long time. And now that the market kind of come crashing, it's amazing that we're not at, the 15 already. See what I mean? Can you imagine like last year without all these balance sheets? We would have been at $15 right now. Telling you, they brought us down to 10 without this balance sheet. So to say that Ryan Cohen doesn't do shit, like, you're dumb. I'm sorry to say. But how can you not see the value of this leadership? And they do it the right way. I'm telling you. They do it the right way. So, best of luck, guys. Okay. I know. But, yeah, but my point is that, again, we did it. I mean, leadership's doing it the right way. And now we get to reap the benefit even at the phase of this calamity in the stock market, right? And we'll remain to be strong, and then it's going to be stronger than moving forward when the liquidity pool comes again. And of course, how much are they going to print? Well, we already see global central banks out there are lowering rates like crazy, right? So the US always the last. And whenever the Fed's going to lower the rate, it's going to give us that boost. Of course, every company, every corporation out there are pushing for that. They're sweating bullet right now because the Fed hasn't raised the rate. I mean, hasn't lowered the rate. They've been urging, and waiting, pins and needles to be able to, breathe a little bit with so that they could get their hands on, like cheap debt again. Guess what company just have a zero interest in, not even cheap, zero interest on convertible notes? GME, right? So to be able to raise that money at a zero interest rate in this time, I mean, come on. That says something about the company, the balance sheets. Without that balance sheet, you guys, without that strength of the balance sheets that we had, I know people would love to tell you it's not strong. It's stupid. It's this, they lose money. No. Right? Who would be dumb enough to give you $1.5 billion at zero interest if they're not convicted that the company is going to be fine? And not only that, they're going to be able to pay back $1.5 billion in 5 years. $1.5 billion is a lot of money, you guys. I mean, look at how many companies is able to make $1.5 billion in 5 years. None. I don't think so. It's like crazy, huh? But to hear that and to kind of go through the journey, of used to lose a whole bunch of money, now, come at the end of it, and, institutional convertible note people, whether they want to take advantage of the retail arbitrage or whatever, that's still instill the confidence that, okay, this company is going to stay long enough for me to do whatever retail arbitrage that we could do, with the dropping the price down so that they could the best price possible for this company. And so why don't we play that game as well? You see what I mean? So to me, whatever participant comes, I don't mind. That means that you are talking about this company until the end of time. You know, you get the convertible notes people, you get the, you know, the volatility trader people. I'm telling you, this company is going to be around for a while. So don't hold your breath to be like, oh, it's going to die anytime. Good luck. Good luck. Seymour in the Matrix. The system doesn't want us to win. Oh, it's okay. I mean, look, if you're tired to wait, yeah. I mean, learn to trade some other stock. Maybe this stock is not for you. I hate to say it because, you know, I feel like we're closer than ever to that promised land that we want to all see, right? Of course, all of us want that spike to happen. I thought it would happen over here. Right? But, you know, good things comes to those who wait. How much longer, I don't know. If they don't want us to win, okay. I mean, what can I do? You know, one day at a time type things. But I don't feel it that way because, again, they want to make money too. There's a lot of institution out there who wants to make money. And if they know that GME is in high demand at some point, they're going to flock in. So you just have to wait long enough for them to change their mind. That's it. So, and if you feel frustrated, I'm sorry. But if you've been dollar cost averaging down and do it slowly, you know, you don't have to watch the stock every day. Put a alert. Okay, if you want to sell at $40, put the price. Put the price alert. Don't sell until it gets $4. Or just put the limit sell right there at $40, right? So that you don't have to stress even because you know that this company is going to hit at that price at some point. The news will tell you if it reach, you know, $100 a share or whatever, right? So don't worry, you're gonna know. But so long as it's still in the dark right now where the news is not telling you to buy but sell, you want to pay attention to it because you know that, you know, there's a reason why they tell you to forget about something because that something, you should be the one who hold it. Sorry about my dog. I don't know what's happening. She's playing. So, yeah. I mean, the turbulence gonna be here, but there's a lot of stuff going on with the crypto market that it's hard for me not to stay bullish. I'm so bullish in the space in general. And, you know, of course, GME is smart enough. I mean, Ryan Cohen's smart enough to get into that space as well. And, you know, I think Ryan Cohen knows that is the growth, you know, industry for sure. The next industry that is going to set up to do well within the next, you know, 4 years or so. So setting it up right now, it's amazing time already to not only be here, but also have the money to, you know, grow massively in the next few years here. So not very worried about that at all. But as far as like XRP, there's been a ETF, but this is 2X ETF. So that's exciting, right? So now you have a different type of you know, markets there for XRP. Would love a spot ETF at one point, but I don't know why they would approve this first before a spot ETF. It's, again, promote gambling, right? So, but that means more eyes on the actual coin itself, which is XRP. That's good, in my opinion. So yeah, this is M2 money supply. There's a global one where it's reached the top over here. Okay, so don't worry, wall of money is coming soon. So I'm sure, Scott Bessent know that. Trump's know that. That's why he's not bluffing, right? He knows that, eventually the Fed's gonna lower the rate. So even when they're not lowering the rate, global M2 money supply is gonna kick in at some point. Okay. Switch 2 is coming, and apparently they can pre-order now. I thought it's tomorrow. Starting camping out. Console release in 2 months. So they're just poking fun at that. But yeah, you could pre-order soon. Let's see what else. I don't see anything much here based on GME. Nothing much, you guys. Right now, I'm just checking the, doom scrolling. Kind of a bit tired at the moment. Very busy day today at work. Okay, so more thumping. Okay, who knows? Who knows if that's Roy and Kitty there? Boom, there you go. This is XRT, and apparently 900% shorted. I don't know, this guy. Like, people are just crazy, right? Dumb stormtrooper, I'm telling you that they either have to do this or just not doing well themselves. Okay, so I saw something earlier that I want to show, but I think it was a video. It's about tariffs, I feel. It's worth kind of reading. It was Pompliano when he talks about. And this one, again, when people are telling you, oh, it's a dying business, nobody's shopped there you go. Brian Cohen found an item that people want, and I'm sure they want Pokemon. Okay, so they're waiting around for that, I'm sure, or Switch 2. Who knows? I enjoy the journey. See you guys every day. Saying good morning, good on the Discord. Pokemon, etc. Watching you guys grow in life. Thank you so much. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a labor of love for sure. I know I don't have to do this, and I don't make a gazillions of dollars doing this, but even if it's only a 1 penny a day, it's okay. I could slave away with that. It's all right, just a peasant over here living a life. Just kidding. She's saying bye, Chewy. Oh, okay. Who? The dog. Okay. Even watching Moran Street. Oh, giving away. Yeah, of course. Pokemons and all that stuff. Those videos always like a fun one because you see him walking around and explaining to kids. Yeah, it's like pretty cool. Of course, you see a lot of losses, and yeah, are they gonna break or they're just going to get bailed out? You've heard of that narrative being tossed around. Crazy. Like, I don't understand why these people keep getting bailed out. Other than the fact that it could, cost the whole market over here crashing. Of course, we're all waiting for that maximum volume to come back. And I think it's pretty close, you guys. Like, I'm telling you, it's pretty close. And of course, this is the mantra, right? You buy at every level. Nobody's afraid of it. Okay, so that was the one. I think if I click on here. So this one is related to crypto. Apparently, the administration has dismantled a digital enforcement priority sector. So this last administration, they created this agency just for crypto to go after, everyone, not just ones that are scamming people or anything like that. No, they going after Ripple, right? The most honest, chain out there that are transparent, and they present their case pretty well, and even winning the lawsuit, even so. And so they typically dampen innovation in order to again slow the innovation down. And there's a concerted effort within the last administration to keep people, or at least in this industry, to grow. And I don't know, whether it is to dampen innovation on GME as well. I mean, everything is related to GME, right? In my opinion. Because like the minute GME went into the NFT, FTX got it, got found out that it was like scammy and all that stuff, right? And then that's destroyed the reputation of GME for a little bit. Of course, it's a black eye for sure. But that's not through the fault of GME. GME is trying to, do business on a platform that hasn't, gotten any flack from the regulator at the time, which is Gary Gensler. But all of a sudden, right? So if it's so bad, why wasn't, they were selling crypto to U.S. citizen? So what gives? And then on top of that, you have this, tokenized thing where they were claiming that if you buy GME on FTX, those are 1-to-1. And nobody got in trouble for that, right? And there's a connection with the Citadel too. So again, these arms of enforcement is not to protect retail investor, but to protect retail investor from investing in something that they should invest in. You get me? That's how I truly feel. Because when they come after XRP, my portfolio went terrible because I had a lot of XRP at the time. And of course, with a whole bunch of, regulatory scrutinies and all that stuff, it turns out to be fluke anyway. But XRP holder suffer from that because of that unclear, undefined rule from Gary Gensler. They never give you any rule to go by, so it's pretty unfair, you guys. So when companies trying to use the technology to grow into the future, they couldn't. So that's bad. That's really bad for the economy. So the economy could have been a lot better now if crypto was allowed to flourish, right? Because it creates job, it creates people, wanting to, whatever you could say that, saving in Bitcoin, right? Anyone who's saved in Bitcoin for the last 4 years is very happy with themselves. I'm telling you, it's like, you have to think of this as a long-term thing. Like Michael Saylor said, like, if you wait for people, the rest of the people, to agree with you, you are paying much more for the stable, the stable price action. Because by the time people agree with you, there's no volatility left, right? People already agree that Apple is a good company, right? Yes, there's some volatility there with the debt and all that stuff, right? Federal Reserve, rate change or whatever. But overall, most people agree that Apple should be in your portfolio. Most people. So when that happened, the volatility is not quite there for people who might want to, start their portfolio and build wealth in that sense. You could maintain wealth in that. So with volatility though, when less people are agreeing with you that certain things is valuable, like GME, for example, or Bitcoin, still at this price, yes. You're still early, actually. So if you look at the rainbow chart, right, you're probably still in deep blue. And so it's time to buy right now. Historically, right, based on the price action. So with that though, you get to buy something at a cheaper price, based, a little bit more expensive at the current price, based on people demand. But eventually people are going to join in, and then, the asset will become more mature. The same way with GME stocks too. Over time, people are going to learn that our balance sheet is not bad at all. Okay? Not only that we have profitability, we have strong balance sheet, we will get the revenue growth that people are asking for. You better hope that they take their sweet time for this to happen, okay? Because when this actually happen on the balance sheets, do you know what the institution's gonna do? You think they're gonna sit on the sideline if they find out, oh, GME grow their revenue by 20% this quarter? No, they're not gonna wait for that to happen. They might tell you to stay away. That's for sure. But I'm telling you, when this happened for real, anyway, I'm telling you, you better wish that they take their sweet time to grow their revenue by that percentage. They take their sweet time to strengthen the balance sheet for sure. 3 times. I mean, how important do you think? Balance sheet says. Remember, strong balance sheet, you could lever when the time is right. You could go to the bank and say, hey, give me $10 billion. I have this business that has $6 billion on the balance sheet. I want $6 billion more. Right? What do you do with it? Well, do you want it or not? If not, I'm gonna go to, convertible bonds instead. It's like, you better give me at 0% because, I'll return it to you. And prefer shares. Something like that. I don't know. I'm just dreaming at this moment. But manifesting it forward, All right, so there's tons of other ones that are listed. So this one is listed on NICE. And of course, there was a rumor that the Fed is talking about rate cut before May even. Like who's gonna blink first, right? Whether Jerome's gonna cut the rate or the market's gonna have to suffer until May. Then May comes, he's gonna cut rate, and that's when everything's gonna take off. So you have until May to accumulate. I thought, I would much rather be 2 months too early than 2 months too late to things. That's my logic, even for GME too, same. All right, so with this one, of course, I showed you this one already. It's Bitcoin is going to become the world reserve currency. Not to say that the U.S. cannot take advantage of this. They can. I mean, with the Bitcoin strategic reserve that we are kind of putting in place right now, it's actually a very smart thing to do, because we know that the US dollar cannot withstand what is happening right now with all the debt, the dollar right now. Not quite sure how that that will turn out though, but have some Bitcoin, you guys. I tell you, $100 is still something, just in case this really happened though. All right, guys, my nose is kind of fluggy right now. I'm very hungry, actually. That's probably why. I hope you guys enjoy the show. Not sure. Maybe tomorrow I will show that this tariffs thing. It's 12 minutes long though. Let's see. Should I? Well, let's play a little bit.
Yesterday, the Treasury Secretary.
Let's speed them up, maybe.
Simple. Focus your message on getting trade deals done. The market wants clarity. The market can stomach short-term uncertainty, but they need to know that long-term predictability is coming. If investors think predictability will return, then financial markets, they'll relax, they'll chill out, and everyone will realize that the recent fears were a complete overreaction. But don't hold your breath. This is a complex situation with a lot of moving parts. Uncertainty is the name of the game right now. A few people online have even pontificated. They think that a key aspect of negotiating these trade deals is that Trump has to convince the other side that he's crazier than they are. And it looks like he's trying to do that. Now, if this works out, you look like a genius. If it doesn't work out, you just look ridiculous. And that's the classic trade-off in high-stakes negotiations. While these negotiations are happening, we're also starting to hear opinions on tariffs from all kinds of different executives and business leaders around the world. Some are bullish, and others, they simply just think that the tariffs are completely stupid. Take the Marlin Steel CEO. He went on CNN and he explained that the unfair trade practices of foreign governments are hurting his business. Take a listen to this.
We're very excited about this new leveling of the playing field. Right now, when we export, for example, this basket to Germany right here, it's a precision medical basket, a medical device basket. When we ship that to Germany, the German government taxes our clients $128.95 per basket. If a German competitor ships it to America, it's $1.25 per basket. It is so unfair what's happening to the American worker. They can't compete when you have that kind of unlevel playing field. We're talking about an opportunity finally to create a lot of millions of American jobs, middle-class jobs, if we could get it fair. We're not looking for something over the German factory workers or the British factory workers, the Chinese factory workers. We just want to be fair.
Now, that's a pretty powerful interview from someone on the front lines of the industrial and manufacturing industry. Doesn't get any clearer than what he just said. But there are obviously plenty of critiques of these policies too. Take Home Depot co-founder Ken Langone as the counterexample. Langone told the Financial Times yesterday that the U.S. president was being poorly advised, that the 46% tariff on Vietnam was bullshit, and the additional 34% tariff on China was too aggressive and too soon. And he did not give serious negotiations a chance to work. He says 46% on Vietnam? Come on. You might as well tell them, don't even bother calling. Now, those are pretty strong words coming from Ken Langone. Historically, he hasn't really liked Trump, but he's been a big donor to the Republican Party. And then take Wilbur Ross, Trump's Commerce Secretary during the first term. He had the following to say. He said that it's more severe than I have expected. Particularly the way it's impacting Vietnam, China, and Cambodia is more extreme than I would have thought. Of course, Wilbur Ross also added that businesses and investment firms, they could deal with good news and bad news. But he warned that it's hard to deal with uncertainty. Fear of the unknown is the worst for people, and we are in a period of extreme fear of that unknown. Now, I agree that uncertainty and fear of the unknown can paralyze investors. That's why I think that the tightrope walk, it constitutes clarity for financial markets while holding the line and being strong and tough for trade negotiations. But this brings me to something that I've noticed. The closer someone is to the finance industry, the more they are against the tariffs. The closer someone is to the industrial and manufacturing industry, the more they are supportive of the tariffs. This is fascinating to watch. It's like two different circles of people all talking about the same event, but coming to very different conclusions. So lastly, one aspect of these tariff deals that seems to be under-discussed, it's the likelihood that foreign countries will commit to making direct investments in the United States. These countries, they've already been making these announcements, but they're really going to ramp it up to get trade deals done. And then on top of that, these countries will also look to buy products made in America too. As I explained yesterday, Taiwan is a perfect example. They committed to buying industrial products, agricultural products, energy, and weaponry from the United States. I would expect many more of the deals to include these concessions or commitments. Now, of course, there's also plenty of volatility left in these markets. Stocks are down, then they're up. Bitcoin is down, then it's up. Crypto is down, and then it's up. And no one knows where their true bottom is going to be. The undisciplined, over-levered, and short-term oriented panic, while the patient, unlevered, and long-term oriented feel nothing. Just make sure that through all this chaos and all this noise, that you're on the right side of that equation. One of the questions that I keep getting is the relationship between Bitcoin and stocks. If you go back a couple of years, what you're going to find is that Bitcoin was a non-correlated asset. When stocks went up, it didn't mean Bitcoin was going to go up. Bitcoin could go down, it could go up, or it could go sideways. There was no correlation. And that's really attractive to a lot of investors because their entire goal in their portfolio construction is to find assets that are not correlated to each other. It's a way that they manage risk. But now Bitcoin has started to trade a lot more in lockstep with stocks. If stocks go up, Bitcoin goes up. If stocks go down, Bitcoin goes down. That means that non-correlation is now becoming a correlation. And so a lot of investors are asking themselves, is this good or not? And will it ever end? Natalie Brunell and I recently talked about this, and I thought that conversation was a great overview of what my current thoughts are. Take a listen to this.
When will Bitcoin truly decouple and become this flight to safety, which it was holding up pretty well and then sort of crashed again?
I don't think it will decouple. And it shouldn't decouple in the sense of until the end, right? So if you think about why is Bitcoin's correlation more closely tied to the stock market? Well, because more people that hold Bitcoin today have stocks. In the early days, there's a lot of people who, frankly, they just put all their money in Bitcoin. They didn't have stocks. They didn't care what happened in the stock market. They weren't buying or selling based on interest rates or geopolitical event. Like they were just like, I'm a Bitcoiner. I like Bitcoin. That's my savings tool. I buy all Bitcoin and I just hold it. That's not true anymore. Like a lot of people who hold Bitcoin or are coming in to buy Bitcoin now, they have stocks. They have these portfolios. And so they think risk on, risk off. Do I sell all my stocks in crypto or do I go and invest in stocks in crypto? And so you should expect that correlation to creep up. That's not going to go to 1. Right. I think gold and Bitcoin are very closely linked. There are times where the correlation is higher or lower, but I do think that like we are not going back to the fully uncorrelated, world that we were in before because you're getting mass adoption. And so as you get mass adoption, then the people who hold it all act the same. They're the masses. And so you should expect there to be that correlation. Now, the like quote unquote decoupling that I think everyone wants to see in terms of like the coupling can only occur if people basically say this thing is the new global reserve currency. This other stuff like doesn't work anymore, right? Because the other stuff fails so bad that Bitcoin, is the survivor. I just think we're very far away from that world, right? Like every time the Treasury Secretary talking about Bitcoin as a store of value is light years ahead of where we were 5 years ago, right?
Yeah, he said it on a recent interview.
Bitcoiners, we're winning, right? Like we're making progress. Congratulations, awesome. That does not mean we're going to be the global reserve currency tomorrow. And so I think that if you look out over 30, 40, 50 years, I'm really excited about Bitcoin. What's going to happen in 6 months? I have no clue. And so I just think that you have to keep updating your mental model on like what Bitcoin is and how it operates in this, economic system. Because if you stay in the 2018 to 2022, kind of mindset, like BlackRock's here, right? Fidelity's here. Like they don't act the same.
So there you have it. That's how I'm thinking about coupling, decoupling Bitcoin and stocks. These assets are all constantly moving. You have to pay attention. Sometimes there's high correlation, especially when investors have fear. All correlation of assets go towards one, but then there's going to be times where the correlation is very low. It's going to be really attractive to investors as well. So keep your head on a swivel, continue to update your mental models, and understand that correlations change over time depending on economic conditions. Right now, people are fearful, and so correlations are going to go towards one. That's to be expected. People keep saying that I'm some partisan hack, that I become a mouthpiece for the administration, but I got proof that I'm not. Here's my big critique of what's happening in the administration right now. I love the tariff and economic policy. I think it's going to work as long as it's in moderation. We can't have 50 to 100% tariffs on China. Instead, we're going to have to find some middle ground there. But I do think that the tariffs are going to work. My big critique of the administration's communication strategy right now is that they're not talking about solutions inside the domestic market. All the talk is about the tariffs and the economic policy to actually hurt foreign countries, to put up that friction for trade. Great, that's going to work. But we need to protect American manufacturing and industrial businesses as well. And so the other side of the coin that I would love to hear the administration talking about is a call to action for all the entrepreneurs in America. We need industrial and manufacturing businesses to step up to the plate and hit home runs. We need these businesses to go and rebuild the industrial base of America. If we want to protect those industries, then we need those industries to build themselves. Thankfully, we know that the big incumbents, they're unlikely to do this. They got to take that big tanker ship and they got to try to move it. Startups, those are more like speedboats. They can move much, much quicker. And so we got a ton of companies that are doing this. Take, for example, Hadrian. Hadrian is high-tech manufacturing for this new modern world. They've got customers like Tesla and SpaceX, and they continue to do things with better technology at faster pace and cheaper cost. Then you can go and look at a company like Base Power, one of the fastest growing energy companies in America. They use a combination of hardware, software, and trading techniques to be able to deliver reliable and cheap power to a ton of homes across the United States. And then you can go even look at a company like Rainmaker. They're using precision drones to fly into the clouds and literally make it rain. When they do that, farmers can better plan around their crops and produce a lot more food. And so regardless of how you look at these different businesses, there's a ton of small companies that are all saying, if the incumbents won't step up, if the incumbents won't deliver for America, give us an opportunity. These businesses are well capitalized, they're moving quickly, and I think that if we are going to have a renaissance of industrial and manufacturing here in America, then you're going to see these businesses go ahead and deliver. And so that's what I want to hear from the administration. Lean into the small businesses, lean into the entrepreneurs. Say, I'm going to use economic policy to protect the American interest, but you got to hold up your end of the deal. You've got to deliver businesses that can actually manufacture goods here in America. A lot of people are counting out these companies. They don't think it's possible. I'm going to take the other side of the trade. I 100% think that we can manufacture goods in America. We simply need the entrepreneurs to step up and solve these problems. That's it for today. I hope you
That's such a good point. There's a lot of people out there who said the American is this and that and this and that, right? Whatever, And I think it's just, again, this incentive, right? When you give people the incentive to do things, they're gonna do it. But why do you think there's no manufacturing here? It's because there's no incentive. There's no money there, right? Because it's not being protected. I'm sure there's a lot of people who want to go to work in manufacturing because, again, they get to work with their hands, right? It's, again, people have the misconception that no Americans would want to work with their hands. That's crap. Everyone in needs, right? They will want to. So just give them a chance, and I'm sure there will be people who work in assembly worker when they have to. And to say that we don't have any worker that would love to do that, that's not. If they don't love to do it, if they have to do it to pay bill, they will. That's the American way, right? Again, that's human way. Like, of course, if you need money, you're gonna have to go to work, to put food on the table. And if you have families, all of you have families, you know what that's like. You gotta do what you gotta do to put food on the table. Anyway, all right. I'm guessing I'm starting at 3. Yes, that's another thing too. It's like, of course, start it. What are you printing? Keychain, GME keychain. Starting a business holding company. Gamestop too. Of course. Yeah, 3D printing is a good opportunity. It's always been a good opportunity too. If you know how to design things and, on a level in which, massive people would want that, to make their lives a little bit easier. The problem is, of course, is there any demand for your goods and services? So that's the only things that you have to figure out. What is in demand right now, and what do people need for their day-to-day, and whether it's worth it for them to buy your product. So, those industry usually don't get any, incentive for them to do it because it's not rewarding. And of course, high risk too, because you have you need a lot of capital to set those up. Factories and all that stuff. So typically that's why, hedge fund don't typically invest in those type of company because it's slow growth, slow burned. But if they could figure out how to do it well, right, it's gonna boom for sure. But again, like, we've been spoiled, I guess the stock market has been spoiled for decades already. It's, 14% up every year for whatever decades. And now when there's like a small change of rate of return, these people throw a tantrum. And it's not real return, you guys. I mean, based on inflation, based on the, middle class dwindling, you don't really get the benefit that people thinks that they're gonna get benefit of, right? When you think about the stock market, how it went, the top 88% of America right now, 88% of equity is owned by only 10%. That's chilling, you guys. And so that means if you have any stocks at all, you are the top 50%. You're already up, you know, you're the top 50% of America already. While if you have debt, then you are the bottom 50%. So you already have an economy that is, you know, poor and rich. There's no middle class whatsoever. I know you might feel, you know, some sort of way where you think that you're a middle class, but in actuality, you're actually, you know, poor based on the money, you know, if you don't have money in the stock market. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go grab something to eat, and thank you. I'll be back tomorrow, maybe later on. I don't know. We'll see. I think I cover everything I have been wanting to. But if I see anything more, I will tell you. But I will leave you with this. This is the most funny thing I've ever seen. All right, guys. I'll see you. Bye.
How you feeling, man? I'm pretty lucky. Say what? I'm fine. I'm pretty fine. What? Yeah, well, yeah, I'm good. How are you? I'm good. How you feeling, man? I'm pretty lucky. Say what? I'm fine. I'm pretty fine. What? Yeah, well, yeah, I'm good. How are you? I'm good. How you feeling, man? I'm pretty lucky.